Chapter 62:11. Master Hong doesn't care about Jacob's affairs? President Pei exclaimed, but he had great respect for Jacob before. When we went to Classic Mansion for dinner, he not only gave the best box. He offered wine, and offered to toast. His wife waved her hand and said, "Pei, you have been in a literary and art institution for the elderly like the Painting and Calligraphy Association for a long time. And your sense of smell has really decreased, even if the couple did it yesterday. And you have to know that Irvin is his advisor of Orville. And it turned out that Jacob worked with him to set up a scam. Can Orville be happy about this kind of bad thing?" And according to Irvin's circle of friends, all the money from the fraud went into Jacob's pocket. What does this prove that Irvin was cheated in this matter? Jacob's cavalry ride the horse for him. Jacob dares to use Master Orville's advisor as a cavalry officer. And also causes such a big scandal. Can Mr. Hong keep it on his face at this time? When Mr. Hong gets angry, he will definitely break up with Jacob. President Pei exclaimed after hearing this. "Honey, what do you mean, Mr. Hong no longer cares about Jacob's life or death? Are you sure?" "Ah." His wife said, if he cared, he would have made his attitude clear just now. He didn't let you call him anymore. He just didn't want to care about it and didn't want to say it openly. Pei Hui bit his lip and said depressedly, "If I had known he had this attitude, I wouldn't have guaranteed Jacob's vote. I wanted to keep his position as vice president. It was just to please Mr. Orville and avoid him. I will blame him in the future, but now Mr. Hong is too lazy to care about him. So why should I help him under so much pressure?" "Yes," his wife said without thinking. "Since Mr. Hong has already expressed his opinion on this matter, you don't need to help him at all. And you have to know that as long as you help him with this matter, everyone will think that you are supporting him, which will definitely leave you with something to talk about. If you can help him with this matter, dealing with it impartially will definitely win you a good reputation." As she said, his wife couldn't help but remind him. "Old Pei, you can't be too optimistic about some things. You have to consider one thing. What if you can't get promoted this time? If I can't get promoted..." President Pei smacked his lips. "If I can't get promoted, I can only continue to work in the Calligraphy and Painting Association." His wife nodded and asked, "What if you don't get promoted in the future? If you still want to stay in the Painting and Calligraphy Association, whether you are engaging in malpractice for personal gain this time or whether you are dealing with justice this time will directly affect your majesty and status in the association in the future. My personal opinion is that this situation is completely unnecessary for Jacob. And it will affect your own image." President Pei nodded thoughtfully and said awkwardly, "But I have already promised him." His wife asked, "What's wrong with promising others?" "Yes, my sister wanted to borrow money to buy a house, and I agreed to it. But she turned around and asked for a loan of 2 million. Can I give it to her? She sold the old house and replaced it with a new one, so the total price difference was only 2 million. She asked me for it. I said not possible. Basically, if she has the mouth to ask for it, I have the mouth to refuse it." Pei asked her, "What do you mean, I simply don't bother to protect Jacob?" The wife came up with an idea. "Didn't you ask him to send an email to resign? As long as he sends that email, wouldn't it be enough for you to agree to his resignation?" President Pei said with some embarrassment. This is too grandiose. I asked him to send an email to resign. He first gave up the position of executive vice president and then went to talk to the vice presidents. Through mediation, everyone's internal problems are solved internally. Jacob makes a step forward and everyone takes a step forward. Everyone is happy. But if I directly get rid of him, isn't this the same as the bank's malicious loan withdrawal? He knew I had tricked him, so he will hate me to death. What are you afraid of? His wife asked him with some displeasure, "Are you so afraid that Jacob will hate you?" "My sister hates me so much now, what did I say? No matter how much she hates me, I can't possibly lend her this money. If I gave her 2 million because I was afraid that she would hate me, what would be the result? The result is that she buys a new house without spending a penny. Then she renovated it this year, bought a car the next year, and her children married a year after that. And her children have grandchildren the year after that. The money is spent one after another, and the 2 million and 3 million. It may not be returned to us in 5 years or even 10 or 8 years. I don't do anything with the 2 million. I just put it in the universal account. According to the 3.5% guarantee in the contract, the interest is 70,000 yuan a year. Not counting interest compounding, it will be 700,000 yuan in 10 years. Who can supply me this money? I can't suffer the loss of being dumb.